No point in us remaining. Na, 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 as I did on my own, alone again, naturally. Thank you, thank you. Enjoy that, John. Enjoy that.
What the fuck is John gonna enjoy?
What?
Doesn't matter to you. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
You don't know.
I'm recording this, so I will know, you fuck.
Oh, fucking A. I forgot you can watch that later.
Yeah, it's saved on my fucking computer. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Anime Club After Dark, the podcast that delves into all things anime, manga, and otaku culture related. I'm your host, Alex, but you can call me Senpai, and joining us tonight, we have our poster extraordinaire, Natai.
Good to be here with you, Alex.
What? All right, look here. I'm gonna send her to ground pound you in like 5 minutes. I swear to God.
don't do it. He'll enjoy it.
Don't let her out. She might pull a racial slur. Watch out.
And our biggest Pen fanboy, Chinoda.
Pengi's best boys.
Can we? So we're obviously doing our movie review for Evangelion 2.0. You cannot advance tonight. Can we all just?
Oh, you sure cannot advance.
No, we can't. I watched this like 3 weeks ago, and we've had to reschedule this twice. And I'm like, fuck, what happened? I don't remember.
Good thing I watched it twice.
Yeah. Can we
Why'd you watch
address?
it twice?
Can we address the elephant in the room with this? Because, like, there's the eternal waifu war with Eva, right? With Rei and Asuka. When the real answer to this is just Pen. Pen is the best girl. Period.
I'm not into animals. I will not take part in this.
Says the goat master.
Go fuck yourself. Misato, best girl every day of
Did
the
you
week.
just say
What
go
are you all on
fuck
about?
yourself?
Goat fuck yourself.
I said go- I'm done. I'm fucking done. Goodbye.
And-
It was a good time.
Anyway, yeah, so we're talking about EVA 2.0. This film was released all the way back in 2009. I was a babby of 19 years old when this came out.
I was literally
Big
going
babby.
into high school.
Yeah. So, unlike the first movie, this particular movie had 3 directors, and I think as we'll get into this in the spoiler section, it kind of shows. But this was obviously directed by Hideaki Anno, but it was also co-directed by Kazuya Tsurumaki and Masa Yuki.
Which were like students of Anno, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Like,
they're sort of like understudies of Anno. So
Yeah.
But it does kind of show, and like I said, we'll talk about it in a little bit, that this was definitely co-directed instead of having a single voice behind it. Still written by Hideaki Anno, produced by his Studio Kara. The film was originally released in Japan on June 27th of 2009, and it had a wide North American release on March 29th, 2011. Now, if you guys think it's hell waiting a couple of months, 3, 4, 5 months to watch anime movies that come out now, this took over 2 years.
I mean, for how long did we wait for the final Eva movie to come out?
To be fair, it was supposed to come out earlier than it did. COVID kind of fucked that up.
Yeah.
But this was made on a budget of roughly $10 million, which is about $3 million more than the last movie. And it made roughly a equal amount more in the box office. $44,339,362 US as of the time of this recording. This number also includes theatrical re-releases.
A lot
Yeah.
for an anime movie at the time.
Yes,
Obviously.
yes. This movie also has a total runtime of 108 minutes if you're watching the theatrical cut, 112 minutes if you're watching the 2.22 version, which is I think what we all watched.
Best version.
So yeah, I was about to ask. Yeah, all of us watched the Blu-ray version. I guess.
For all of these movie reviews, I'm watching the Blu-ray versions.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay. Just.
Yeah.
Good
It's
to
the
know.
best version. Why would I do anything less?
I would also say
Fair.
it has slightly cleaned up art and animation too, so that's nice.
Yeah.
But speaking of the art and animation, let's I guess talk about it for a minute. I don't think there's a whole lot more to add than we said in the first movie review. I mean, it's obviously the same studio, so it looks very similar. But I will say
with
one thing
go.
I think that this movie did better than the last one in terms of its art is like the sort of establishing shots that you get are really detailed.
They improved since the last movie, and it you can tell very easily.
Yeah.
And the world building has only gotten better, which
Yeah.
I didn't
Literally
even know
world
that it
building.
was possible for them to do it, but they did, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, there's
The
a
movie
lot
can
of
be gorgeous
detail that
from
goes
time
into
to time,
those
for sure.
shots.
Yeah. We definitely get a lot of establishing shots of like the world and just random people going about their day, which is really appreciated. I love it. I think that's something that is a bit lacking in the original series, and I really enjoy it. Even though the CG crowd is
a
not
little
great.
a little jarring sometimes.
Yeah, it's kind of okay. But
you could say they have very
Well,
stiff movements in the tie.
yeah, I don't think it. I mean, again, this movie came out like what 15
2009
years ago. Yeah, around 15 years. I can count, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, the CG crowds and to some extent the CG itself, from time to time, can be great, but sometimes it's a bit too jarring. It's like
it's great with the it's great with the Evas,
yeah,
Oh, they
with
look
the Ava specifically.
fantastic.
but
I think
it's funny because like with like the establishing shots where you see the crowd, it's very blatantly obvious that it's CG.
yeah, the crowd does not look great at all. I don't think it.
I think
holds up.
that's the point about CG though. Like it's fantastic if you work specifically on one individual, one character, one specific thing, versus a whole crowd. Like that's
No, I mean,
you have to put in a lot more work for it to look a lot better, and
obviously,
Studio
as
Orange would
time-
like a word with
wouldn't
you.
want to. Yeah,
yeah, I mean, and as time moved, and again, as time progressed, like we got more and more showcases of CG and CG crowds looking way better and better and better. And like, unfortunately, again, whether it be just lack of time to polish it or just the technology, I don't know, but it doesn't hold up, which is a shame.
Yeah.
Because it is a bit jarring. It's not that big of a deal, if I'm being honest. Like, just wanted to point it out. And as you said about the Ava, like, it was very jarring at first to see the Ava move like this because we've never seen them move around like this, like, because they're like these very big, lanky creatures.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm trying to think of like a proper way to describe the movie in this movie specifically as compared to the previous one. It's very over animated, if that makes any sense.
Over animated is a really good way to describe it. It looks like they put way too much detail into it to where it becomes almost uncanny in its movements.
It's strange. I don't hate it necessarily.
I don't hate it either because the Evas are supposed to be kind of these weird, like, mysterious creatures, and the fact that they seem to move unnaturally actually kind of helps that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overall, though, really gorgeous movie.
There's a scene where they go to the aquarium or whatever they want to. I forget what they actually call it in the movie. The water in that part is really well animated. I do want to say.
Yeah, and again, like, and you still got that signature Anno direction that is like so fucking good, and you don't get that anywhere.
Lots of quiet moments.
Lots of quiet moment. I mean, they fucking like, not spoilers. They brought back the elevator scene, which is one of my favorite parts of the show, and like fuck you to all the haters of that scene. We're like, oh, they just put it there for like budgetary reasons. I mean, could be, but
it works.
It's, bruh. It's such a great scene because it encapsulates the feeling of tension and awkwardness you have when you're in a space trapped in a space with someone you're not necessarily friendly with. So well, it's such a good scene.
I cannot for the life of me remember who said it, but it was someone in our Discord server who said it one time when we were talking about Anno's like direction and how he writes, and someone in our Discord server said that Anno is someone who is not afraid to use silence as dialogue. And I think that's
Oh, that's beautifully put,
yeah.
actually. Holy
And I
shit.
think that kind of really that the elevator scene I think is like proof of that. But just in general, like that's his writing style. He's not afraid to have the
Yeah.
quiet moments, and like you can say a lot with silence. Like one of my favorite scenes in this, besides the elevator scene, which I actually do think is really good. That scene, it's past the halfway point of the movie where Shinji is running away, and he's alone.
Again.
He's alone in the train. Like the lighting and the shadow work in that scene as the train is going by is really well done. And it's a quiet moment. It's like a moment of him just reflecting on what's happened, and it's directed so well.
It's a very, very End of Ava. It's literally lifted from End of Ava, and with good reasons. It's so visually striking.
Yeah.
Again, Anno just has an eye for like really fucking good shot composition. You know.
Yes, I mean he started out as a key animator, and
Yeah.
Good reason for it.
It's
I don't really think there's a whole lot else to add in terms of like sound design. I do want to take a moment to just praise the OST a little bit more, though. I like the fact that not only are they bringing in new tracks, which the new stuff they bring in is fucking bangers.
Good shit.
Some of the new stuff has like motifs and such from the original series, which I really liked a lot.
I love the new arrangement they did for the like the battle preparation track. They did dom 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 dom.
Yes.
It sounds so full and heavy, and
use those big bass drums.
Honestly, it feels iconic. When you hear those drums, you're like, oh fuck, shit's about to go down.
Is it funny? Is it funny that when I'm watching an anime now and I hear those bass drums, that's the only thing I think about, whether I'm watching Ava or not?
No, that means it's a good effect. That means it's a fantastic effect.
It's a fantastic track.
I often wonder if because Hiroyuki Sawano used bass drums in a track from '86 a couple of years ago, and I thought,
really, the
second I heard it, I'm like, that sounds like something I'd hear in Ava. Hiroyuki Sawano, you sly bastard. But nah, the music. One thing I can definitely praise in all of the Rebuild movies is the music. Not only does it have a lot of great new stuff, it also harkens back to some stuff from the original series, and I like how they mix it together.
And I like the contrast with some of the newer stuff. Like, so I mentioned it before, but so back in the aquarium, it's the first time they introduced this motif, this very jazzy track they use, and I love how it like sort of like takes you to a whole different space, which
a happy place,
because they are in a whole different they are in a whole different place in like this world right now, and it's great. It sounds great. It's awesome. I once again like knocked it out of the park with the song.
I like, because like one of the things in the aquarium, I forget what they call it in the actual movie, but the aquarium that they go to, part of what they're doing is trying to like rebuild the oceans. And I like how the jazzy sound to that track really kind of uplifts you, whereas everything around it, both before and after, is very gloomy.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Just to circle back around for the visuals for just 1 second, because I feel like we didn't touch on it. I do feel that for the most part, some of the angels in the movie don't hold up as much as like in the previous one. Aside from the fucking decoy angel, the guy with the fucking long ass face that circles around, that one, I don't remember the name of it.
Are you talking about the one in the very beginning?
No, it's the one where it's the first time the three of the pilots work together to take it down.
Yeah, that's the one at the very beginning.
So, no, you're talking about Unit 5 is the one at the beginning where we're introduced to Mari.
Yeah, the one at the very beginning does not look great. But
not the centipede one, the one right after.
You don't have to see it for very long. It's fine. It's
yeah. Also, it's very dark, which is like whatever. But that angel itself looks fantastic. I love the way it moves. It looks awesome. And again, just like the fucking pyramid angel for the first one, I think like the way they use the CG gives it the otherworldly feeling that it deserves having.
Yeah.
It makes it very eerie. I love how it looks, but some of the angels in the movie just again, like I'm not trying to be a dick about it. Obviously, this movie came out a while ago, and maybe like CG evolved as the years went by, but they don't hold up as well as some of the other angels, which is unfortunate.
Yeah,
I would in general agree that the angel designs in this particular movie aren't as striking as the ones in the first.
Yeah. Yeah, just wanted to circle back around to that because I feel like it's very important to mention.
I feel like that while maybe it wasn't striking at the first, it's okay because this movie really focused on the characters themselves and like the world itself, and I feel like because of that, I can give it a pass.
Sure.
Like I still think they look good, but maybe not as great as the first one. But I feel like because of that excuse, it's fine.
I will say the sequence where we're introduced to Asuka is fucking amazing.
Fantastic.
Oh my god, yeah.
Fantastic. And again, speaking of Asuka,
heavens.
Speaking of Asuka, the performances were great. Like all the cast, I love all of it.
So I'm watching the original ADV English dub. What are you guys watching?
Subs.
You're watching subs. Okay.
I have watched that scene in dub as well, though. So like I know what they sound like. And holy shit, it does not matter whether you watch it in sub or dub. It just sounds great.
Yeah.
Like, wow, they put in the effort.
I mentioned this during our first review. I like watching the dub because number one, I've only ever watched Evangelion dubbed. But it's fun to watch how the voice actors grew from the series. And I think it definitely comes through in this one because the characters, or at least the established characters, the core three, which is Shinji, Rei, and Asuka, actually have to emote in this movie. And
all of them were stellar. Yeah.
It's fun to watch. All right, shall we get into the spoilers now, where we talk about the story?
Oh yeah,
sure. This movie is weird, guys.
It's pretty weird. Spoiler alert for those of you that haven't watched it. If you haven't, go watch it. If you have. So one thing I definitely want to point out is that this story, or this movie rather, is a sort of rough retelling of episodes 8 through 19 of the anime.
Until it isn't.
It has a lot of very new content in it, but it does kind of weave in some of the story details from those episodes. I talked about in the first review. The first movie is essentially a shot-for-shot remake of episodes 1 through 6. That's 6 episodes of an anime, right?
Yeah.
This one does pretty much all of the rest of the story from the original in a single movie.
But you say that, and again, okay, so this is the first time for me watching the movies. I was expecting, I was under the impression that the first 2 movies are very, very close to the series. So I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm expecting.
The first one is.
I know what I'm getting. The first one was. And then the second one happened, and I'm like, hold up. Who is this chick? What is she doing? I don't know her. Hold up. Wait, what? It's Third Impact? What? It was very, very, very shocking. I kind of appreciated that.
Yeah,
but
Mari.
They're like, maybe, if I'm being honest, they're like only 2 plot lines in this entire movie that are lifted from the original series. And the rest is either rearranged or completely new. I would say 70% of this fucking movie is new stuff.
I really fucking enjoy that.
Again, not to spoil anything, but going forward from here, there is nothing from the original series.
I bet after this fucking ending,
but no, yeah. The first thing we're introduced to is Mari. Mari is kind of cool. She's obviously fucking psychotic.
She's hot.
Best girl.
All right.
I wouldn't go that far.
All right. First of all, Chinoda, no. Second of all, Natai, put your cock away.
My hands are up here, bro.
My
hands aren't.
Also,
God damn it, Shimoda.
Also, something I did want to point out in the original Evangelion, Asuka has a very different surname than she has in this.
I was confused. I was like, that's a different name. and I thought I might be misremembering it.
Yeah.
Misremembering it.
In the original series, she's called Asuka Langley Soryu. In the
Right.
rebuild movie, she's called Asuka Shikinami Langley.
I wonder why they changed that. Seems kind of strange.
I don't know.
I didn't realize, like, it sounded different, but I didn't go back. I didn't go back and like check. So kind of strange. Asuka is very different in this movie. I think
She's different, but she's also very recognizably Asuka.
definitely, but it's kind of. I still can't put my finger on it, but she's it's more apparent she cares about Shinji in the movie than in the show. One change in the character that I really enjoy is giving Rey much more agency.
Yes,
in this movie.
In the original series, Rey doesn't have a whole lot of agency.
And that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Like, she was sort of like a take on this like
She was a
archetype in
doll.
anime that people like really were really like attached to. And the whole point is like, why would you be attached to this person who has no feelings, there's no way to emote themselves? It was kind of a critique of that archetype, which was really, really interesting. But this movie, like, she sort of grows and grows her own agency, you could say, which is really cool. I really enjoyed how they like. It's a different take on Rey.
Yeah,
And Shinji as well.
She's less. What's the phrase I'm looking for? Not to borrow something from another spoiler cast series that we're doing, but she's less Ononoki and more an actual character.
I agree. Hey, Monogatari.
Hey.
Also,
I mean, Ononoki is 100% modeled off of Rey. Come on.
I suppose, yeah. Also, Shinji has much more of a backbone in this movie, which are rare.
Yet he still fucking runs away.
Bro, I think one of my favorite scenes in the movie is one of the opening scenes, which is Shinji and Gendo talking to each other.
I love that scene so much.
Bro, such a fantastic scene.
I do like the fact that despite the fact that Gendo is kind of a fucking asshole, they do
a cunt.
They do go to some length to humanize him slightly.
No, they did, and I appreciate that. He's still a dickhead.
That scene at the graveyard where they're at his mother's grave, I really like that. And then there's a scene a little bit later on in the movie after Shinji and Asuka and Rey fight off one of the angels, and he calls him and he just says, "Good job."
Yeah,
that caught me off guard when I first saw it like years ago. I was like, I thought he was just a dickhead. What the hell?
Yeah, it's big. It's again, I'm gonna compare it again to the show because it's like it's what I know. It's very, very interesting to see this, like how the story takes shape compared to the show. Because in the show, you got none of that. He's a cunt all the way through, which I love. I really, really enjoyed that. But it's interesting. It's really, really interesting to see how they actually talk to each other about their feelings somewhat. Of course, Gendo is very guarding himself from like he compartmentalized his feelings, that's a word, and just detached himself from that, while Shinji is afraid to like show any emotion because doesn't want to get hurt as well. It's kind of, that scene is like perfect. I love it. It's one of, I'll have a lot of complaints about this movie, but I don't want to take away from like the good things it does.
Honestly, it's such a shame that with how Anno wanted to write Shinji and Gendo a little bit differently throughout this rebuild, at least in these first two movies, it's such a shame that we've gotten them together on screen so infrequently. Because when they are together, it's really good writing.
I think it's just like it gives it more impact when you keep them away from each other. Hey. When you keep them away from each other.
Hey, we can't.
Speaking of impacts.
Speaking of impacts, Natai is like fucked off. This is what happens when you fuck around with Gendo, man.
So I'll agree with him. The fact that they're away so much, and you got impacted, bro.
Yeah, you got impacted, man.
I was just saying, I actually agree with you. With like, the infrequency of them being together makes the fact that when they are together even better.
Yeah, it does.
The scenes more powerful, more prominent.
Makes it special.
It makes you remember them. Because, like, in the most other animes, you like father son at mother's graveyard. Like, how many times are you gonna remember that? In Ava, you're gonna remember that shit because you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, for sure. It is some of the best writing in these rebuild movies is when Shinji and Gendo are together, though. At least in my opinion.
I think it's one of my favorite dynamics in the show and the movies. It's great.
Yeah. Where was I gonna go? So we also get more Kaoru service. So, funny thing, at the very end of the first movie, Kaoru is teased, right? And you think he's going to be a big part of the next movie. And he's not.
Bro,
you see him again a little bit.
You see him a little bit, like in the 1/3 mark of the movie. And then at the very end of the movie, you see him.
Bro. And again, by the end of the movie, I was like, that's illegal. What are we doing here? That shouldn't be like this. And then Kaoru shows up and it's like, oh, Shinji, this time I'll make you happy. And I'm like, what are you, what?
I can't believe you've done this. You have ended on a cliffhanger. Fuck you, Anno.
I was, what? Again, I've been watching this is the first time for me watching these movies. That fucking line where it's like, Shinji, this time I'll make you happy. I'm like, is this a timeline? Like, is this a continuation of the series? Like, what do you mean? What are you talking about, you gay weirdo? Kessler, it's a good way.
Wait, are you saying that gay people have a superpower? They can breathe in space? Because Kaoru can.
Have you ever met gay people?
He's the only one
They're
who
super
did
weird.
Wow. Okay. Shinoda.
They can do superpowers. All right. Make me feel all types of ways.
I'm just gonna glance right over that and pretend he didn't say
weird.
that.
I just got a text or something. Well, don't mind me.
Yeah.
My
Anyway,
God, I'll have no taste.
Anyway, yeah, the Kaoru, it was so weird to me because he's obviously in the original series. Kaoru comes way later in the series, so
like the last 2 episodes.
I don't think it's the last 2 episodes. I think it's like 3 or 4 right before the end. He's only in 2 episodes of the series, by the way.
Oh yeah.
But him being teased that early, I'm like, okay, cool. You're gonna make him like a prominent character in the second one, and like, yeah, he's teased again, and then at the very end, he's teased again. It's like, all right, how many times, Anno, you're gonna do this shit to me?
And then
like, it's such a build up too. It's like, come on, bro, you don't need to build him up that much.
I think again the whole thing. I think it definitely made it more both shocking and again impactful when he did show up at the end of the movie.
It did.
I found it really interesting that they introduced Mari, and she shows up for like 3 scenes, 4 top.
Yeah, which again, you get the sense that going forward, she's going to be a much more major character than she currently is.
I do wonder about that.
Bro, you'll find out.
There's so much more information that was like they throw at you, which is like very, very fascinating. Like the fucking Vatican Treaty, where like each country can only have 3 Avas. Like, what? That's interesting. Or
yeah,
like,
there's so much that's just thrown at you, and it's like, all right, well, you better explain this later. I'm gonna be very pissed because like they got the Vatican Treaty, and then they also like just randomly throw out the Key of Nebuchadnezzar. It's like, what the fuck is that? You're not saying anything.
These scrolls of Apocrypha, and you're like, what the fuck are these? What is this shit?
Like, Gendo, are you a prophet? Is God like speaking in your ear? How many fingers am I holding up, Gendo?
I do wonder if like all that shit, because you have every now and then the scenes like with Gendo and Seal, and you have like Gendo with Koji.
You talking about?
Was it Koji?
Talking about Kaiji? The sexual assaulter?
God damn it. Anyway, between the two...
Am I wrong?
Like no comment. When they're like throwing at you these like the scrolls and Nebuchadnezzar, it's like Evangelion always like showing you like intriguing with weird mysteries, and I guess by the end of Evangelion they sort of were there. I wonder how that's gonna take shape in the next 2 movies.
Yeah, like
cool.
the series
will it actually be
the series kind of played with that too, like just randomly introducing things, and then like you had to wait until the very end. It's like, oh, that's what that was.
Again, most of the time it's not, at least in the show, it wasn't the point. The point was like the human drama and like exploring the human psyche of these characters.
Yeah.
And that's like the heart of this franchise.
Which I'm fine with. I'm fine. I'm
yeah,
fine
definitely.
with that stuff, that like mysterious stuff being in the background, because it gives you more time to actually explore the psyche and the motivations of these characters, which is really, like you say, it's what Eva is really about.
I do like the fact that they don't fully explain it. So this is something that writers use a lot. They give a bit, but not enough to fully explain it, so that the person reading, watching, whatever consumption of media, they have to try to put together the mystery themselves. And I love that, because like some things are pretty logical, some things you have to discuss with other people, try to figure it out. Other things, it's almost an open book and you can try to figure out how it works. I love things like that.
That's what we call the hook in the business.
Yeah. No, but like I feel like it's a good hook. I remember way back in the day, hell, even now, a lot of people complain saying, oh, it's just random religious shit just thrown in there. And it kind of is. But at the same time, it feels like it's not completely random.
It's funny you say that, because like, so for the longest time, so whenever the angels get destroyed, they make these like big ass crosses, right?
Yep.
And for the longest time, people are like, "Oh, I wonder about the meaning of this. Oh, the angels, the crosses." And Anno was like, "Oh, we just did it because it looks fucking cool."
Yeah. Which is
Like in the original show, like, and I guess to some extent in the movies, I'm not sure about that, but in the show, there's like a lot of religious imagery that is there because they're like, that looks really fucking cool.
Well, like fucking
I respect that.
Dead Sea Scrolls, Key of Nebuchadnezzar, like this is stuff that's in the fucking Bible.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
But yeah, Chinoda's right. Like it's there kind of just to be there because it sounds cool.
And to be fair, a lot of that shit is kind of cool. So
yeah. I mean, Nebuchadnezzar is a really cool name. Just say
it's a funny name.
Say 5 times in a row.
That was the name of Morpheus's ship in the Matrix.
It is.
Oh my god, it was! Holy shit!
Nice call out.
I love that movie. It's one of my favorite movies ever.
Bro, Matrix is the best anime of all time.
One thing I do want to say is that, and I mentioned it before, is that this movie is directed by 3 directors. It's principally directed by Anno, but it's also co-directed by 2 of his understudies. I think in a way it definitely shows, because it feels like the first movie felt like it was like a manic depressant. It feels like this movie is been given like pills. Like there's it's still manic depressant, but it's a little calmer.
Like the first movie just like went go 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 go, like really fucking tight like movie. It just, you go in, you get out, you're done. It's like it's a really like, it goes by real quick. I think like it's edited and paced really fucking well, the first movie. Which makes sense. They're trying to cram a whole lot of episodes together. It does feel a bit jumbling together to get from one point to the other because they don't have enough time. But still, for the most part, like, okay, got it. This second one, so I mentioned at the start, I mentioned that I watched it twice. So first time I watched it, not gonna lie, I was really tired. I was watching with my buddy. I kind of dozed off in several points, and it felt really long. And I looked at the time later, I was like, it's not even 2 hours. It's less than 2 hours.
It's just barely over 90 minutes.
It's barely over 90 minutes. And then I was like, I need to watch this again. I need to, you know, be more present for it and give it again a second chance, because I felt like I was kind of doing a disservice to the film. So I watched it again last night. Listen. This movie feels longer than it is, and it's fucking weird. Like, this movie ends until it doesn't. It's like it has 2 climaxes.
Natai, I'm actually gonna agree with you, and I think this is the same for like all the Ava movies. So what I like to do is I like to watch a bit of it, like maybe the first half, get to like maybe the midway point or whatever, a good break in the story, stop it, pause it, whatever for a little bit, and then
No.
watch the rest of it. Because they feel so long, sometimes you just need a break from it. It's weird. They do feel really goddamn long.
That doesn't make for a good movie. That's not a good movie if I need to take a break
I
in the
don't
middle.
know. I don't know, man. Like, I fucking enjoy movies like this, but I don't know. Sometimes you just need to refresh yourself.
I bet. I just when I'm watching a movie, I'm watching a movie. I
Yeah.
don't think having the need to like take a break in the middle is like a good sign of a good movie. It's a sign of a good movie. It's like how I would describe
Unless
this,
it's like
this
5 hours
movie.
long.
I know, right? It's The Irishman. Like, and don't get me wrong, I love long movies. I watched
You watch The
countless
Irishman.
times. Countless times I watched the extended cuts of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah!
I watched Ben Hur, the original, multiple times. That movie is 3 hours long. I don't mind long movies, especially like,
2001: A Space Odyssey.
well, don't get me started.
That movie's so long. Even the Blu-ray version has the intermission in it.
Bro.
Wait,
That movie,
what? Are you serious?
That movie is
Bro,
three
that
and a half
movie-
hours long.
that movie is so slow. Like a turtle is faster than that movie. I'm sorry. This movie feels like that moment where like at a family gathering and you're having a great time and then someone's bringing cake and you're like, oh, this cake is fucking delicious. It's my favorite. It's the best cake you've had in years. You love it. It's great. And you're done. You're really satisfied. And then fucking grandma comes in and she's like, here's another cake. And you're like, no, I'm sure it looks delicious, but you're done. You're full. That's how this movie felt in a nutshell. It's like by the end of the climax, what felt like the climax of the movie, you're like, ah, that was good. Like, that whole sequence with Shinji beating the shit, like the dummy system, beating the shit out of that of Unit 5, right? It's like, wow, this was like riveting. It's like, it's heartbreaking. When all that sequence
And there's
ends,
lots of stakes
like,
because people are fucking dying.
yeah, it's fantastic. The music is like, this is harrowing. It's like, and then it ends. You're like, oh, that was great. And then it keeps going. Like, okay. And then you move into the second climax of the movie. You're like, I'm done. I can't. I'm full.
Yeah.
I'm satisfied. It just kind of. And I tried. This is the second again. This is why I watched it for the second time because it felt like I didn't give it the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. I'd kind of agree with that. Can we talk about the ending though? I think that's a great way to wrap this up.
Fucking third impact, bro.
The third impact. Shinji ascends. He actually stops running away.
That was nuts.
Yeah.
I was not ready for that.
The
No.
chorus of children singing, that was haunting to me.
Yeah. Let's not do that
Great
again,
music.
Ano.
He's whipping the kids in the back. Sing!
Sing! You sing, you motherfucker! This is my vision!
sounded
Fuck you!
great. It sounded great, but at the same time, it was just, yo, this is like hella uncomfortable.
Yeah, I feel like this seems illegal, Ano.
Which makes sense. Like I think that like worked really perfectly. How it makes you kind of like, oh shit.
Like,
Yeah.
just
Right.
feel
Like, very
genuinely
brutal.
uncomfortable.
And I have to say, the animation was fucking.
Oh,
Heat.
yeah. Sakuga out the
my
wazoo.
God.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
And it's yeah.
You can see where most of the animation budget went in this fucking movie.
And
It's
you know,
really
that's
exciting.
perfectly fine. That is perfectly fine. I
it's-
love the fact that they put it to the good stuff.
One thing I like about the end of the movie is just how much is at stake, because obviously you have the angel has like penetrated the geofront. It's there. It's right fucking there. And like everything is about to be absolutely destroyed. You have Asuka that's been fucked over. You have like the Evas are
Supposedly
all
dead.
and they dead. The Evas are all in a state of disrepair of some description. And then you have Rey who's like being absorbed almost.
Yeah.
It's great because Shinji actually has something that, like, if he hasn't fixed this or he doesn't finish it off, they're fucked.
And then he does it. He goes for it.
he goes
I love this fucking
goblin mode. He goes berserk.
I love this shit because it's like I love the Ava mindfuck that they pull every now and then. This is
Yep.
really good stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And it's very exciting because I'm like, shit, what's gonna happen next? I thought the weird ass shit is gonna happen in movie 3, but we have two more movies where I have no idea what's gonna happen. I'm really pumped up for like watching the rest.
Yeah. That's pretty much all I got to say about 2.0.
Really flawed movie.
It's flawed, but it's still enjoyable. I gave it a 7 out of 10, which I gave the first one an 8 out of 10. I think this is just slightly worse in a lot of aspects, but it's also just as good in some aspects. So I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Natai?
I give it a 6. And I think now, the more I think about it, I think I'm being too kind to it, because the things I like about this movie, I really, really enjoy. But when the movie makes you think this is going a bit long, and then you feel you're kind of done with the movie, and there's still 30 minutes left, something is really, really wrong with your film. Like there's something just kind of, and it's a shame. It's very disappointing because again, I love Evangelion. I love this shit, and I'm very disappointed and upset that like a movie that I enjoy, like I watch it, and even on the second time when I know how long it is, I'm like, shit, there's like 30 minutes left. What the fuck? It's again,
it's not
so
a
many
good feeling.
aspects to it. Yeah, so many good aspects, but like the structure of it feels kind of wrong. Like something went wrong with structuring this movie.
I kind of blamed it on the directing, but there's a part of me that wonders, is it the editing?
I think it's just a very core. I think like there's something like when they structured this movie for one reason or another, something like maybe I don't know, like something is not right with how this movie is structured.
Yeah,
it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah. Chinoda, you disagree with us because you gave this the same score you gave the first one.
I gave it an 8 out of 10. Younger me gave it a 9 out of 10 for some reason.
Younger you was very dumb.
Younger me is a reflection of my current self. Still very dumb and very.
He's young at his heart. He's Peter Pan.
Yeah.
No, but I still really enjoyed this movie. There was a
tall ass
lot
Peter Pan, Natai.
It's a girthy Peter Pan.
I enjoyed
Sorry,
the movie.
Chinoda.
I love the animation of it. I love the story, the characters, just everything about it. I just absolutely loved it. I'll agree with you. Sometimes it did feel like it was going on a little bit too long, maybe a little bit too slow at points. But overall, the overall package, I freaking love it. And like, I always recommend it to people. Hell, the friend I was with today, I told her, yo, like, go check out the Ava Rebuild movies. They are really fucking good. And yeah, that's how I feel about it.
I'm a mature and responsible person. I'm gonna move on.
Well, no. You're not. Who are you to lie to?
Natai, you have to go. You don't have time for this.
Say it.
All right.
He said girthy.
What?
I did say
You're an idiot. You're an idiot. I hate both of you. Get us out of here.
Why do we hang out with each other? I don't understand.
I want to see John Wick 4. Get us out of here.
All
I
right.
want to see John.
Yeah. John's going to love editing this. Anyway, yeah, that's it. That's EVA 2.0. The next movie review we have is obviously EVA 3.0. So look forward to that. The shortest movie in the series.
Right on.
The absolutely shortest movie in the series.
Let's see how it goes.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you all out there.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Thank you everyone out there for dropping in to listen to us. Check the description down below where you can find links to Anime Club After Dark on Twitter, on Twitch, and on Discord and other forms of social media. We also have a merch store linked down below. Any purchases you make there do really, really help us out. With that, I have been your host, Alex, and I will see you next time. Say goodnight, guys.
I gotta pee so bad.
Don't run from the robot. Cause a third impact.
Don't eat yellow snow, Natai.
Don't go to sleep with a penguin. That
No.
seems kind of a
That does seem very sus because penguins piss in their sleep.
Bro, his entire head was all inside Misato's shirt. I don't know what was that about.
I mean,
Look,
yours
they're
would be too.
really good roommates, okay?
I mean, I'm not a penguin, Alex. Of course, mine would be as well. Best girl, bro. Where's the fucking lie? Can you
Best
deny
beer
her?
drinking buddy, honestly.
I mean, let's
Bro,
be honest. Drinking with Misato and Pin.
No.
He-
Fuck Pan Pan.
What? Oh, fuck off. This blasphemer.